Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. I'm Arielle, as you know. And for our practice today, we're going to start with the legs up the wall. So make sure you're near a wall or a couch or a chair, and then have a pillow at the base of your furniture, whatever that may be. If you have 2 blocks and a strap, that'd be great. And we'll start lying on the back with the feet up the wall. But first, we'll put on the music. So if you want to listen to the playlist today, toggle over to your Spotify. It's called Becoming. The first song is Opening, and we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. Awesome. And then make your way onto your back. So the best way to do this is to remove any cats and then have your seat on the pillow. Roll onto your back and swing your legs up the wall or the couch. That pillow is underneath your hips, your sacrum, your pelvis. And then I like to take the arms wide to a T. You can also have your hands like a cactus. Or if it feels good to have one on the heart, one on the belly, you could do that as well. Now you want to have some distance between your hips and the wall so your legs can lean back. And that way you're not using too much of your leg muscles, your quads, your hamstrings. So find that perfect alignment for you. You can let the toes flop open. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Invite a full breath in through your nose. And a smooth breath out of the mouth, let it go. Invite 2 more breaths just like that, inhaling nose. Exhale, mouth. Good, a little deeper breath in. Satisfying exhale, let it go. Now just breathe naturally. We'll be here for a few minutes. It's a great way to reset. Let the feet relax after a week's worth of doing whatever you've been doing. For me, it's been moving into this new space. And as we practiced transitions last week, it was all about grounding to find presence and patience in order to transition through life with grace, with ease, and to stay in the flow. But throughout that transition, we become a new version of us, like a snake shedding its layers, slowly becoming what it was always intended to be. Not an action of searching for change or changing who you are, but surrendering, shedding your layers. I invite you to set that as your intention today. Become who you are. Witness any tension in your brow or your jaw. Listen for any thoughts about the future, expectation, anticipation. See if you can let those go with an exhale. Breathing into this moment through your nose. Begin to engage the back of your throat, Ujjayi breath. Continue to breathe in this victorious breath. And slowly draw your knees in towards your chest. You can hold on to your shins. Maybe even sway side to side. And then find a gentle, happy baby. Let your knees open wide. Catch the inner arches of your feet. And as if your heels are stamping into the ceiling, feet parallel to the sky. Pull down on your heels, down on your knees, pressing your hips into the pillow. Feel free to stretch one leg out, followed by the other. Good. And then we'll take the knees back together so you can twist your knees over to the left. Keep your hips on the pillow, just rock over to the left hip. And then you could take your left palm across your thighs as your right arm opens to the right. Spin your chin to the right as well, and feel free to close your eyes. Focus on your exhale, exhale, exhale. Reach a little farther through your right fingertips. Let the breath fill your chest. Breathing out a little deeper, relax the muscles in your legs. Take one more cycle here. Spin your chin to the right a little more. Twist with everything you got on your exhale. Good. And then go slow as you shift back towards center, rocking your knees up towards your chest. Add a sway side to side, arms wide. And then eventually tilt your knees over towards your right. Your right arm drape across your thighs. Turn your chin to the left. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Try to breathe everything out all the way down to the navel. Reach a little longer through your left arm as you breathe in. Relax the legs. Exhale. Spin your chin a little more to the left. Twist, twist, twist. Good. Now you can continue to roll over towards the right and make your way onto your hands and your knees. Go ahead and move your pillow aside. And then when you make your way to your tabletop, we'll have wrists beneath shoulders, knees beneath hips. Nice. Tuck your toes, and on your breath in, lift your chin, sway your chest. Exhale, press it around through the spine, navel in. Good. Do that again. Lift your chin, lift your tail. Exhale, navel in, drop your crown. One more round. Inhale, look up. Exhale to find that cat shape in your spine. And then from here, slide your palms out for extended puppy pose. Think about that cat shape the whole time. So your lower ribs continue to pull in. As you stretch long through your arms, press down through the thumb and pinky. Strong through the arms. Let's see if we can tack the shoulder blades down your back a bit. Hugging your armpits in towards their sockets. Dig your knees into the ground and breathe here. 2 more rounds. Last one. Good. Now just look forward. Begin to slide onto your stomach. You can let your forehead land on the ground for now. And just focus on stretching back through your legs. Feel your right leg stretch a little longer, and then your left leg stretches to match the right. We'll take the fingertips off the mat and pop the elbows up for spider cobras. So you're going to claw your fingers into the ground. The elbows lift and your shoulder blades pinch together on your back. Now keep your feet on the floor. Ground into all 10 of your toenails. Turn on your quadriceps. Exhale as you lengthen through your tail. Good. Now pressing into your finger pads, begin to lift your head, lift your heart. Take a long breath in. And then come back down on the breath out. Go slow, forehead to the floor. We're going to do that twice more. Keep long through the tail as you lift your head, your heart, looping your shoulders back. Exhale, go slow as you soften back towards your mat. Another round, inhale to rise. This time, touch your right cheek to the ground and turn your right shoulder forward, like you want to touch the floor with your shoulder head. Go slow as you roll yourself back up to that spider cobra. And then we'll go the other way. Turn the left shoulder forward, left ear towards the earth. Awesome. We'll just do that one more time so we can find a little more stretch. Inhale to lift. Exhale, turn the right shoulder forward, look to the left. Inhale, slow to rise. Last side to the right. Cool. Go ahead and lift yourself back up. Breathe in, neutralize. Exhale, forehead to the earth. Slither your hands in so they're by your ribs. And then press yourself into a child's pose. Hips to the heels, forehead to the floor. Arms nice and long. Pause. Recall your intention to become who you are, to shed any layers that no longer serve you. Remember, you could always return to this shape as we move through our practice today. We'll keep it slow as we continue to flow here. Exhale. As you breathe in, please rise up onto your shins. So your hips stack over your knees and then start to lift your arms up over your head. Yeah, rising onto your knees. We're just gonna warm up with a dynamic movement here with your hands over your shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over the knees. You can have the toes tucked under for more support. Imagine you had a globe between your palms pressing in. Now take a long inhale. Slowly exhale the tabletop. Reach your hands forward, pike your hips back. When your hands touch the ground, lift your chin for cow pose. Breathe in. Return to child's pose just for the breath out. Untuck your toes, slide your hips back, stretch long through the arms. And we'll repeat that. Inhale, rise up onto your shins, circle your arms wide to the sides, all the way up overhead, breathing in. Exhale, pike your hips, reach your arms out in front, slowly coming into tabletop. Inhale, lift your chin, sway your chest. Exhale, send your hips back, forehead to mat. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale to rise, nice and slow. You can roll up through the spine, turn your palms up, look up, hug your inner thighs to the midline. Strong core helps you slowly bring your hands to the floor. Inhale, arch your back, look forward. Exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. Good. Take it one more time. Inhale to rise. Inhale, arms circle wide. Exhale, hinge forward, hands to the mat. This time as you come into cow, tuck your toes under, look forward, and then lift your knees off the mat, downward dog. Breathe out. Awesome. We'll take 5 deep breaths here. Go ahead and check out your legs. Do they look parallel to you? You see your heels are descending straight down from your hips. Spread through your toes, relax your calves, and feel free to bend your knees. And then do the same with your arms, stretching long, pressing into every finger pad. Nice. Hug the low ribs in, just like you did an extended puppy. Let your head hang with the ears between the arms. And your gaze can be drifting down the bridge of your nose. Steady the breath. Let it go. Let the down dog slowly reveal itself. Lengthen through the sides of your waist. One more breath. Exhale. Good. And begin to walk your feet up towards the top of your mat. We'll keep the feet hips width apart. Keep a little bend in your knees as you extend your spine, halfway rise. Exhale, folding in a little deeper. Let your head hang, stay. Witness the spread of your toes supporting you as you lean your hips forward a little more. Good. Well, find that halfway rise again. Keep your right palm on the earth. You could use a block underneath your chin. We'll bend that right knee and keep the left leg long as you lift your left arm upwards towards the ceiling. Now really push through your right palm to help you reach up through the left. Imagine your left heel can pull the floor back. Hug your left hip back. Yeah, and then curl your tailbone towards the earth like you do in cat pose. Then you can turn your eyes up. Open up through that left bicep and chest. One more deep breath. Good, and then exhale slowly. Take that left hand down and we'll switch. So we'll take a bend in that left knee, left hand to the prop, right arm lifts up. The right heel tries to tack the ground back, hook the right hip back. Should feel a stretch in the outer right hip, outer right thigh, the IT area. You can explore rotating your head to find a release in your neck, or gaze up at that right thumb. Remember to lengthen your tailbone down towards the ground to find a little more juice in that stretch. One more breath. Excellent. Folding forward on the breath out. Exhale, exhale, exhale. And then go slow as you bend your knees round and rise. Inhale. Loop your shoulders back and down when you get to the top. Exhale everything out. And then we'll circle the palms wide all the way up. Gather your hands together in front of your heart. Pause. Close your eyes. You can find that stack of your bones. Shoulder blades gather together on your back. Broaden your collarbones. Good. Lengthen through your tail. Activate the lower abdominals. Feel your quads help lift your kneecaps up your thighs. And then lean your hips back. Yeah, find that stack. One more breath. Good. Exhale. Now go ahead and stretch your arms up overhead, breathing in. Take your right arm down by your right leg and lean over to the right. You can use your arm to brace you to find a little extra length through the left side of your waist. Stay heavy in the left heel. Keep your chin off your chest and think about leaning your left ribs back. One more. Good breath. Good. Inhale to reach up with both arms nice and slow. And then we'll go the other way. Left arm to left thigh, lean to the left. Good. Heavy in the right heel, strong in your right quad. Curl through the tail and then maybe the eyes turn up. Good. Inhale to rise. Let your hands travel through your heart and then take your hands to your lower back. Your fingers can point up or down. We'll hug the elbows in towards one another. Create a little bend in your knees so you can tilt your tailbone towards the floor and then start to arch your upper back as you lengthen through your legs. Pressing down through your big toes, lift up through your kneecaps and maybe your head drops back. Take 2 more breaths. Elbows gather together behind you. One more. Good. Inhale, roll up through the heart. As you fold forward, slide your hands down the back of your thighs. At the very end of your out breath, draw your chin in towards your chest. Good. Extend the spine, halfway lift. Turn on those quads, light up your kneecaps. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your feet back to plank. Take a deep breath in when you get there. Fire up those quads. Keep them on as you bend your elbows. Chaturanga is a tricep push-up. Hug your elbows in as you descend. Flip to the tops of your feet. Lift your chest. Breathing in. Exhale, navel to spine, downward facing dog. Pause. Exhale. Now watch your feet come together so your big toes touch, and then rise onto your tippy toes. You're going to keep this elevation of the heels as you begin to lift your right leg up for 3-legged dog. So both feet are still in that tippy toe shape. You can spin the right pinky toe down, fire up the inner right thigh, and then slowly let your left heel relax towards the mat. Keep pushing through both palms, especially the right one. Breathing into the calf, the hamstring, strong through that right leg. One more deep breath. Exhale. Good. And we'll step forward for the warrior one. Elevate your left heel to give yourself some room to place that right foot at the top of your mat, just inside the right thumb. Now spin your left heel to the ground 45 degrees. We'll start with the hands on the hips when you're ready. That way you can feel those hip bones are pointing straight ahead. Remember, this pose all starts with that back heel. So as you ground through that back heel, drive your left hip forward, and that'll allow the right hip to come back. From there, the right shin comes forward. And with the tailbone long, lift your arms up. Awesome. From here, left arm gets a tricep stretch. Take your left hand to your upper back. Catch that elbow with your right hand. Keep grounding through your right big toe. You could even look down at it with your eyes as you slowly lean over to the right. The psoas connects your lower half to your upper half. You might feel this stretch in your low back or the front of your left hip or even the inner left thigh. That's where it all connects. Do your best to engage your left glute. Yeah, 3 more breaths. 2, 1. Now come back up with your arms overhead on your breath in. Exhale, take your hands behind you and interlace your fingers together. Now here's where you can grab that dish towel or a strap. We're going to loop the shoulders back and extend through the arms. Lift through your heart. Keep the right knee stacked over the ankle and then begin to lean forward so you can bring your right ribs, your right shoulder onto the right thigh. Yeah, humble warrior. Now you can see your left leg from here. Turn on that left quad, ground through the heel. Do your best to lift through the arch. Feel the right heel pierce into the ground so you can hug your right hip back. Good. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Let the knuckles drop. 2 more breaths. See if you can take your chin a little closer to your chest. Good. Then keep the chest low as your hands release to the earth. The left palm is going to stay down for a modified side plank. Take your left knee to the floor. Stack it underneath your left hip, and then stretch your right foot towards the back edge of your mat. Your right hand can come to your hip. Loop your shoulders back. Stay here or lift your right arm up and look up. Strong core. Lengthen your tail. 3 more. 2. 1. From here, we thread the needle. Bring your right knee to the mat alongside the left as you swoop your right arm underneath your chest. You can take the right side of your head to the earth and then extend the left arm forward if you like. Nice. Close your eyes. Feel your knees pierce into the earth and shift your hips to the right. Awesome. Then ground into all 5 of your right fingernails. Push into the earth and start to turn your chin up towards the ceiling. Where's that exhale? Take it to the low belly. 2 more. Awesome. Take that left hand back into the mat by your face. Unwrap to your tabletop. Move into cow pose on the breath in. Downward facing dog. Breathe out. Take a breath. Become who you are. All will be revealed. From here, take your big toes to touch. Lift your heels up so you're on the ball mounds of your feet. And then keep that action in the legs as you lift your left heel to the sky in 3-legged dog. Keep pressing through the ball mound of your left toes, spiral the inner thigh up, and then slowly let your right heel relax towards the ground. Yeah. And as the right calf gets a stretch, press through your left hand, stretch through your left toes. Steady the breath. 1 more. Good. And we'll elevate the right heel so we can step forward with the left foot for warrior one. Place your foot just inside the left thumb. Spin your right heel to the mat, 45 degrees, and then hands to the hips when you're ready. Now, spin your right hip bone forward by pushing your right heel through the floor. Hug the left hip back as you send your left shin forward, and then tilt your tailbone towards the earth so you can really get that hip flexor stretch. The arms will rise when you're ready. Take a breath. Beautiful. When you feel steady in the legs, add the tricep stretch. This time the right hand comes to your upper back. Yeah, catch that right elbow with your left hand and do your best to take that elbow behind your skull so you can push your head into your upper arm bone. Feel the right heel ground, the right glute fires, and the left big toe stays on the earth as you arch your upper half to the left. Keep driving the right hip bone forward. Say hello to your psoas. 2 more breaths. See if you can bend the left knee a little more. Yeah, 1 last breath. Good. Inhale, re-extend your arms up. Exhale, let the hands travel behind you. Now you can lace them at the sacrum, right where your waistband is, and then loop your shoulders back from there, and then extend through the arms. Yeah, keep that left knee over the ankle, breathe in, and then lean forward. Left shoulder over the left knee. Let the head hang. Humble warrior. Keep grounding through your right heel, but notice if you've collapsed into the inner arch of your back foot, try to make a shadow appear by grounding through the outer edge of your foot. Lifting through the arch. Take another 2 breaths. Awesome. Keep your chest low. Let your hands search for the earth. Then we'll bend the right knee to the mat for your modified side plank. Left foot stretches back. Keep the right hand on the earth underneath your shoulder. Left hand can start on your hip or lift it up. Nice strong quad. Tail gets long. Maybe the eyes travel to that left thumb. Now, if you ever notice it's hard to turn your head, it's likely that the shoulders are rounding forward. So think about shrugging your shoulders back, like you can hold a pencil between your shoulder blades, and that'll give your neck a little more mobility. Turn your chin. 3, 2, 1. Good. Thread the needle. Let your left knee come to the ground next to your right knee. Left arm underneath the right arm. Left ear to the earth. Right arm long. With the eyes closed, you can draw your awareness inward. Feel your knees pierce into the floor. Shift your hips to the left an inch. Grounding through all of your left fingernails. Do your best to turn your chin up to the sky. Feel the exhale deep down in the navel. 2 more breaths. Very nice. Start to take that right hand back in by your face, returning to your tabletop for the cow pose on the breath in. Good. This time, child's pose. Untuck your toes. Keep the knees nice and wide as you rest your belly between your thighs, forehead to earth. Return to those deep, deep breaths. Those satisfying exhales. Shedding your layers. Take your time to slowly make your way onto your seat. You can roll yourself up and then swing your heels around. Here's where you're gonna want that strap, or scooch your hips towards the middle of the mat. Have the strap reachable, or remember you can use a dish towel. And then we'll just hold on to the thighs, take a breath in, and then go slow as you roll down onto your spine. Draw your knees into your chest when you get there. Focus on the alignment of your upper half. So you feel your head in the mat. You can loop your shoulders down so your neck feels long. Good. Now we'll take the strap into the arch of the right foot. You can hold the buckle with one hand so it doesn't jingle around, and then extend your right heel up towards the sky. Now keep that left foot on the floor with the knee bent for now, and search for a little arch in your lumbar spine. So like a little ant trail can travel right beneath your low back. Try to maintain that low back arch the whole time, even if that means your leg is not as close to your head as you'd like. Now remember, you could be using a dish towel, but do your best to relax your arms. If you can, loop your shoulders back and let the elbows touch the mat by your sides. Awesome. Now you're pressing up through your heel, spread out through your right toes, turn on the muscles of the right quad. And then if you're feeling all right, you can stretch your left leg long down your mat. Notice if that arch in your low back went away. If so, rebend the knee. Good. We'll be here for about 8 breaths. So you can slowly draw your heel closer in as time goes on. I invite you to close your eyes. Feel that exhale in the belly button. Stamp your sacrum into the mat. Pierce the sky with your heel. And slowly, maybe the right thigh gets closer to the chest. I'm just looping my hands around the strap one side at a time. So I gradually get my leg closer. But you're always looking for that little arch in the low back. If that goes away, you're compensating. We'll take another 4 breaths. Whew. Keep active through your right foot. Good. And then give up on the pull a little bit. We're going to take the strap into the right hand. And the left hand can come to your left hip bone. We're going to open the right leg out to the right. Now, you might have a wall close to you, which could be a good place for your foot to rest. You could also put a block underneath your right ankle to help you find support. If it's suspending in space, that's okay, but we're going to try to hook that right sitting bone towards the left heel. Should feel kind of like when you do triangle pose. And then when you get the left hand on your left hip bone, push your hip bone down. Keep your left glute on the ground. Stay strong through your left leg. And then check back in with your shoulders. Do they creep up to your ears? How about that arch in your low back? Good. Feel that right hip crease. Pull back and down. We're stretching the inner right thigh. So if you think about pushing your big toe farther away from you, you'll elongate that line through the inner leg. And you might feel a little extra stretch. Curling the pinky toe edge of your foot backwards towards your shin. Just 3 more breaths. And then you're going to lift your heel up so it stacks over its own hip. Here's where we'll switch the strap so it's on the left hand. Now, for a moment, we're going to find the IT stretch. Your right thumb is going to turn into a hook and it's going to come into that right hip crease. I'm going to push my hip crease down so my right waist gets longer. It's going to cause my toes to turn open like they're looking at 2 o'clock if I had a clock on the ceiling. And then you might feel the stretch there. If you need a little more, think about pulling your left heel towards your left shoulder. So it's a bit of a diagonal, just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we'll continue to tilt the right foot all the way over to the left. Keep your leg long. The arm can stay on the strap. Or if you're able to catch your foot, you could do that. Nice. It's on the strap. Just lengthen through your arm the best you can so you're not tightening up your bicep too much. If you have your foot in your hand, you're holding onto the pinky toe edge. That right thumb can stay in the hip crease to draw that right hip crease down towards the left heel. Or you can place your right hand on your lower back, your sacrum, just to notice how it's perpendicular to the earth. And then with your head rooted down, see if you can loop your shoulders back. Turn your chin to the right. Option to open your right arm to the right. From your right heel to your right hand, press apart. Feel that exhale in the navel. 1 more breath. Good. Keep that left leg strong and straight. We're going to take that right foot into a half happy baby. So as you bend that right knee, roll onto your back, ditch the strap, just loop it off. And then you could hold on to the outer edge of your foot this time with your hand. Pierce your knee towards the earth, left hand to the left hip so you make sure the hip doesn't lift. Shoulders are symmetrical. Sweet. And then we'll make it a figure 4. So you can either cross right ankle over left thigh, or you can find your figure 4 as if you were doing it on the ceiling. So I'm going to take my right foot into my left elbow crease. I'm going to take my right forearm to that window between my chest and my right thigh, my right knee. So I'm going to actively push my right knee towards the ceiling and pull my right foot towards my left shoulder. I have pretty open hips. Remember, you could be in figure 4 as your alternative. But if you're in this shape, then you could lace your fingers together. Keep your head rooted, loop your shoulders back. You should feel a stretch in the outer right hip, however you want to do that. If you have your legs in the figure 4, that right ankle is over the left thigh, you're pushing your right knee away from you, or you have the hands laced behind that left thigh. How's the breath? And take the breath into the hip, like a big yawn, breathing into that right hip. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Awesome. And I'll meet you with the knees drawn into the chest. Just hold on to your kneecaps with your palms and then rock your knees in circles. Let's go 3 each direction, 3 rotations. You can switch on your own. Good. When you're complete, take your left foot into the strap. Focus on that left leg getting what it needs first. So the left leg straight, the ankle flexed, the toes spread wide, then the right foot can come to the ground with the knee bent. Have your hands on the strap, slide them down so your elbows can come to the earth. Pressing them into the floor, you can squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift through your chin a little bit. Check for that little arch in your low back. And if you got it, straighten your right leg. It's like that right foot is standing on the wall in front of you, pressing through the ball mound. Exhale. With eyes closed, keep your mind's eye on the sacrum, rooting down that little arch in the low back. And maybe one hand loops tighter on the strap. Even it out. Do your best to keep the internal rotation of your right leg. So the toes are flexed straight up to the sky, not turned to the side. And perhaps the left hand loops around the strap, getting the left leg a little closer to the chest. We got 5 more breaths. If you're not quite feeling the stretch in your calf, think about flexing your ankle a little bit more. So the toes come back towards the shin for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now the left hand holds onto the strap tails. Right hand to your right hip. Slowly open your left leg to the left. Now, even as someone who has open hips, it's anatomically impossible for the foot to touch the floor without that right hip hovering off the ground. So you can put a block underneath your thigh. You could put a pillow there. You could put the wall there. And then with your right hand on your right hip bone, you're trying to keep that right glute on the ground. The left hand can loop around the strap, keep it taut, and keep pressing through the big toe side of that left leg. Shoulders back, little arch in the spine. Feel your left sitting bone reaching for your right heel. Your left hip crease drops. So both sides of your waist feel symmetrical. Good. And then we'll slowly bring the heel back up over the hip. Because we'll find that IT stretch. First, take the straps into your right hand. Left thumb comes to your left hip crease. And you're going to press that left hip crease down towards the top of your mat, which is going to cause your toes to turn open towards 10 o'clock if that clock was on the ceiling. And then the left heel is drifting a little to the right, not a lot, just above the right hip bone. And maybe you pull it in towards your right shoulder, just for 3 more. 2, 1. Good. And then continue to drift your left leg all the way over to the right. You can keep your hand on the strap, just extend your arm a little longer so you're not using your bicep. Or hold onto your foot, the pinky toe side. That left thumb draws the left hip crease down again. By the way, your right toes are turned to the right at this point. So the pinky toe of your right foot is on the floor. And then maybe the left hand comes to the low back. Check the sacrum. And then option for the left arm to go all the way out. Awesome. And then we'll make our way towards that half happy baby. So from here, you could bend the left knee, loop the strap away, hold on to the left outer edge of the foot with the left hand. Right hand can return to the right hip bone. Shoulders symmetrical. And then your version of figure 4. So left ankle over the right thigh, or lace the hands behind the right leg, or take the sole of your right foot to the elbow crease of your right arm. That left forearm is going to gently push the inner left knee upwards towards the ceiling. Try to keep your head on the ground. And if you're there, the fingers can lace. Get your shin across the chest with both shoulders on the mat. Breathing into the left outer hip. 5 good breaths. Last 2. When you feel balanced on both sides, more or less, we'll return to that hand to the kneecap swivel. So you can circle your knees one way and then the other. Now I'm going to leave you in your Shavasana today, just due to time. We had that nice long start with the legs at the wall. I'm going to cue you into, if you have 2 blocks, a supported heart opener. Just because we finally opened our head and shoulders, we're going to use the blocks like so. I'm going to take one block on its taller setting underneath my head. The other block is going to go between my shoulder blades. Now you could also do this with a pillow. Your hips are on the floor, either way. So I'm going to just keep my feet on the ground with my hips on the floor for now. I'm going to take my elbows to the earth and try to position that first block between my shoulder blades. And then once that feels like it's in place, I'm going to position that second block behind my head. It might take some maneuvering here. Typically, if it's uncomfortable, it's because that one between your shoulder blades isn't high enough. And then you could let the arms go wide. Option to keep the feet on the floor with the knees bent, or you could take your legs out long. Or perhaps you want more stretch for the inner thighs, in which case you'll take the feet together and the knees wide. Beautiful. So I'll set you up here as you settle in. Let the head get heavy, loop the shoulders back, close your eyes. Take a breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, let it go. Let your bottom jaw sway side to side, loosen it up. And then drop it down. You could have your bottom lip resting across the top row of teeth. Relax your tongue. Feel your eyes turn downward in their sockets as your eyebrows release. Notice you're no longer controlling the breath. It's just floating in your belly and chest. As you ground into the earth, feel as if you're shedding your layers, just melting, relaxing, softening into who you already are. Continue to watch for those thoughts and choose to think about your breath or the sensations you're feeling instead. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm going to leave you in this space, but if you wish to finish with a namaste, you're welcome to take your palms to prayer at your forehead. The light in me honors the divine light within you. Thank you very much. Namaste. Now relax for another couple minutes. I will see you next week. Have a lovely rest of your day.